This is a message to a girl whom I've been in a relationship with the longest. Her name is Kimberly Gottfredson. I'm going to make this public because I believe that people need to know. My life experience is a representation of the struggles that people are going to go through, and they need to know who to follow. They need to know the truth. Kimberly, you came into my life, and I initially saw you as very different. You had 2 children from 2 different men, and I typically did not date people like that. And you were very young. You were only 21 when I met you, and I was older than you. But my heart went out to you. I wanted to save you. I wanted to take you from your bondage. I saw that you were struggling, and I immediately fell in love with your children, your family. On our first date, your father sat me down at a table and told me about Joseph Smith. Our first date. Then later on in our relationship, your mother called me up and said, "Are you sleeping with my daughter?" I thought that was strange because I have 5 sisters. And if my mother wanted to know if her daughters were sleeping with men, she would just simply ask them, not the boyfriend. So I told your mother, I said, respectfully, I don't think it's my place to answer that. I said, why can't you ask Kimberly? Do you not have a relationship with your daughter? I was very confused. And then a few months later, your father called me and said, I don't want you dating my daughter because you won't convert to Mormonism. I was being tortured by a group. Now, I speak about churches, and I speak about the leaders of these churches, not the people. I love the people. I even love the leaders, except I despise their works. God loves these leaders, but he despises their works. And he is going to come judge these people. And if you follow them instead of God, you will be judged also. The words that I speak is because I am a chosen one of God, a person of wisdom. I don't know why God chose me. I didn't want this job. But he chose me a long time ago. And somehow, based on the stars and the constellations and the bloodline of my birth, these people knew who I was, even as a child. They have knowledge. They're called the Illuminati, or bankers, the money printers of the world, the people who control the money. I remember fighting you because I wanted to be a Catholic. I was born and raised a Catholic. And I remember you and your family fighting me to be a Mormon. I literally rejected my faith, and I tried to convert to yours. I remember the night that after Ashley was born, the spirits of darkness came into my home, and I told you about it. And you told me that that was the evil entity, Satan, leaving my body. I told you no. They weren't trying to leave, they were trying to get in. I know the difference. I'll talk about that more in a few. Kimberly, I love my daughter, Ashley, more than you could ever imagine. My children were the love of my life. And you know how I felt about Danielle. I expressed my emotions about my children. I expressed to you how my ex controlled my child, manipulated her mind in order to get what she wanted from me emotionally. And I was so tired of that manipulation. She would lie and she would do all these things, and I begged you not to be like her. I didn't want a child when I met you. Not out of wedlock. I wanted to be married in the covenant of God, in the faith of God, before I had a child. And you were dead set because your secret society group somehow brainwashed you into thinking that you needed another child from another man. This is the 3rd man that you would have a child from. They treat you like you're some kind of breeder, Kimberly. You're not a breeder, you're a human being. You should be married when you have children, and I don't blame you. I love you. I've always loved you. I love all people. And this is not your fault. It's my fault. Because I fell short. Here I am trying to save someone from this evil demonic force, thinking that I have some kind of an ego, that I can save people, that I can go beyond the boundaries of God and faith. I had no power to save you. You have to save yourself. I didn't know that then. I thought I could save people, but I can't. But I try to steer you in the right direction. There's a great deception coming through your religion. Your religions have always been the same. Catholics and Mormons and megachurches, they're always been the same. They're Jews who pretend to be Jews, and they're Christians who pretend to be Christians. And they're none of the above. They're Satanists. And they have symbols, the same symbols of the corporations. They control the corporations. They control the money. They control civilization. They're what they call sun watchers. They live on the dark side of the moon, and they follow the aliens from, or the demons from the rings of Saturn. And you see all their symbols everywhere. You see their symbols on churches. You see their symbols on corporations. You see their symbols on their television networks, their medias. All these symbols are everywhere. I don't understand why you can't see these codes in numerology. I've begged you. You even sided with a cop, a police officer, to harass my girlfriends, my second wife, and harass me. You targeted me. You stole pictures. You stole belongings. You stole things. You did the same thing that my second wife did that was directly working for the CIA. You see, the CIA is an extension of religion. They're just an evil entity of a foreign nation outside of Catholicism, outside of Christianity, outside of the Mormonism. But they pretend to be something that they're not. They pretend to be protecting you as a government, and they're not. All of these men are pretenders. These women that are in these, well, they're all men that are in the high places. They're pretenders. That's all they are. And you're going to see these religions unite. You're going to see these governments, these foreign nations unite as one. It's called the New World Order. They're going to attempt to erect the Tower of Babel with slavery of mankind again. They have towers of Babel. They call them temples. They call them the Vatican. Kimberly, how could you do these things to a human being? You know what you've done to me. You know that you did the same thing of mind control that my first wife did to my first daughter. And then you turned my first daughter against me as well as my second. Then you used the law. You see, these people control the law, the maritime law, the water law, the law of the sea. Satan came from the sea. That's why the Pope has the hat of Dagon. You used their laws to destroy what was left of my life, my works, my talents. They rewrote the book of life to all of humanity, not to of God, because God reads my heart. He knows me. But you rewrote the book of life to all of humanity so that I can't teach the truth and that people won't listen to me. If they do a background check, your sister helped. You did it. And then you convinced my second wife. Well, she was just a CIA agent. And you two were partners. And maybe you knew it or maybe you didn't know it. But you were both partners in this crime. She did it through the CIA. You did it through the Mormons. But it's the same group. The same people that somehow knew that I was going to become awakened consciously. Somehow knew that I was a leader of men and women. a speaker of truth. Either constellations or bloodline. I don't know how they knew, but they knew. Even as a child, I struggled with these demonic forces in my bedroom at night, screaming, "Please, get out of my room. I am not going with you, Satan." So you use these laws that were created by Satanism. You used their money. You used all their evil forces against a man that you have a child with. A man who loved his daughter more than he loves himself, both of his daughters. And you turned them against me. You helped build the wall, as Pink Floyd said. What's so amazing to me is you know what you're doing. You stood by the faith of the church and destroyed and humiliated and mocked stones. You prosecuted me with your Satanistic water maritime admiralty laws, and you had no evidence. So I never got a felony, but I got all these misdemeanors against me that I had to go spend money and fight. And sure, I rebelled. Sure, I was angry. Of course you're angry when somebody's destroying your life and you love them. How could you not be angry if somebody's destroying your reputation? That's one of the laws of God. They're written in your mind, all the laws of God. You know right and wrong, except the secret societies erase the right and wrong, and they write their own laws in your mind. You'll be tempted by the beast. Right now, you're following the beast. You live and you work, house note, your mortgage, your whole life is engulfed in the beast. You have to give gifts to him every month. And I offered you a life to where you were free of that. You would have never had to give gifts to the beast right now. You would be free of worried about food and water if you would have just followed me. And now I've got this hill to climb. I've got to change the minds of the people and convince them that follow my heart. Don't follow the records. You crucified. You're the same people who stood in the crowd and screamed, "Crucify him," to Jesus Christ. You crucified truth. Jesus, Moses, Noah, Abraham, David, all of them metaphors for your life. Every one of them. But you didn't follow the metaphors and the examples. You followed the demonic forces of religion, organized religion. The people who hide the truth. The people who watch the sun. Sun god symbols. They watch the sun. When the sun becomes active, human consciousness becomes active. The earth becomes active. We're all chimatical energy forces. It even shapes our DNA. DNA creates life no matter what. If it's in water, it communicates. It resonates. Sound, 783 hertz. The same resonating Schumann cavity of the earth is what our minds resonate at. The same resonance of the sun. When the celestial bodies become active, the sun becomes active, the earth becomes active, and human consciousness evolves. These men want to stop human evolution. They want to keep you in the flesh. When your Creator, your Father in heaven, wants you to evolve to the light. They don't want you to become a light. They don't want you to be a light worker on earth, in the flesh, and they don't want you to be a light being. Light workers teach the truth about energy and who we are, that God is pure energy. He is the light. If you go stand in the sun without solar radiation management and chemtrails as they spray you, your religion is spraying people with toxic chemicals, certain areas, Agenda 21. They wrote it with their United Nations front, their foreign laws against humanity, crimes against humanity. The leaders that wear their Jewish caps in your church, that pretend to be Jews, they pretend to be Christians, they're none of the above. And God knows who they are. They're the enemy of God. They're money. You're following money, not God. You're following religion, not God, the Father, the Creator. You're in a group with symbols and engraved images. You're not following God's laws. I begged you to walk away because I know my child will follow you. Because she is completely brainwashed. She is brain dead because of your people. You have stolen her soul. They stole her soul and you helped them. She is my blood, and I want her to be saved. You turn her against me, and I've never done anything to her except give her everything that she wanted. I gave her a car, and she never even called me and thanked me. That's how mind control she is, and I can go on through the inventory of the things that I have done for her. The love that I gave her. One day she called me during Christmas and she said, you had no money. And I bought very nice gifts for all of your children. I always bought gifts for your children. Even when we were broken up, even when you were doing me wrong, even when I was married to another woman, I bought gifts for your children. Because I love people. I love all people. I've always loved people. Even when they don't love me. Even when they despise me, I can see through the lines and see that they are brainwashed and brain dead. They are so ignorant. They're so outside of reality that they're far beyond my reach. They're in the grasp of Satanism, and Satan holds the key to their soul. He's not going to release them unless you choose. It is up to you. The people with money will never break away. They will fight harder and harder to keep your soul as I battle to save not only my child, but your children from this demonic force. And as you run and you hide in shelters and caverns and you eat their food and their storage and their hoarding of goods, you can't run from God. Once He judges people, you can be underground 2 miles deep with food and water stored. Why do you think your church stores food and water? Because they know what they're doing. They're planning. They're just like Nostradamus. They're within the bloodline of these demonic forces. He is not a predictor, Nostradamus. He's just a bloodline of this evil, radical Satanism, pretending to be a man of the cloth, a man who follows God. They hate the bloodline of David. They're the ones who start all the wars. They're the ones who finance all the wars and the murders. Excuses so that they can kill God's pure blue bloods. The ones that can't be cloned. The ones that can't be brainwashed. The ones who Satan has no power over. But he can kill the flesh. He can manipulate the flesh. He can tempt the flesh. The story of Job is literally my life. I've went from riches to poverty, back to riches to poverty, and I never, ever once stopped loving God. I never cursed God. I always asked Him, why? Show me what I have done. What did I do? I always knew that it was me. It was my choices. You have no idea the love that I have for humanity and people. My heart is crying because I know that the animals are dying, the trees are dying, the birds are dying because of this demonic, spiritual, psychological warfare that's being rained down, this fictional war. We should be in utopia, but they're creating weather, warfare. They're creating rain and droughts, floods, earthquakes, tidal waves. They're blowing up nuclear facilities, chemtrails, geoengineering. They're doing fracking. They're the ones who deceived people and told you that you needed fuel in your car, and all along the car ran on water. Then they put a catalytic converter on the car to poison the air. They've always poisoned your food and your water. They're the ones who bottled water. and stole it from the wells that flowed from the earth. They're the ones who tell you how to build your houses. They're the ones who control Hollywood and media. Men who pretend to be Jews, and they're not Jews, and they're not Christians. They're just very evil men who now believe that the only way that they're going to control society is to depopulate it, because the conscious mind is awakening so quickly, because we're moving closer to the center of the galaxy. The big black hole is energy, and that energy is resonating a sound frequency. They put cell towers on high meridian lines, just like they did in the days of the pyramids. These men have controlled people, enslaved humanity for so long, and God has tried to free you. He's freed you, and He's given you love again, and you went right back to it again. He freed you again. He gave you love, and He created the bloodline, and you go right back to demonic forces again. This time God will intervene. Jesus hung on a cross, and He said, "Forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they're doing." And He gave you more time to awaken consciously. And what did you do? You allowed these demonic forces to rule your life again. The majority of humanity is ruled. I would say 80% of humanity is ruled by these groups. Men making laws over man, when the laws are written in your mind. The laws of God are free. They're flowing. The energy of God is free. Electricity travels around the wire, not through it. Energy is free. Everything on this planet, no man should hoard or control anything. If you want to see the raping and pillaging of Mother Earth, the creation of God, through the vibrational energy frequencies that God creates to communicate with your mind, if you want to watch the raping of the earth, watch the high society priests that control your church. Drill, oil. There's copper mines. When I fly over Utah, I see Mother Earth being scarred and raped. I am a protector of Mother Earth. I was sent here as a shepherd to protect Mother Earth and all the energies of God on this planet. And you're destroying it. You're with the group who is destroying God. You're even trying to do CAT scans on men and women that read scripture and the light goes off in their mind. You call them religious freaks. And there's a war, the FBI, the CIA, all extensions of this demonic force. Even some of the police are brainwashed, brain dead because of these maritime, admiralty, Satanistic water laws, not the law of the land that's written in your mind, not even the Constitution, but the laws of the water, executive orders, men who just make up laws as they go based on their greed and their fears. They keep you in the realm of fear. You're living in fear. You've always lived in fear. That's why you seek the protection of a group, of a secret society, of a religion, an organized religion. The enemy of God, money, is the enemy of God. Fear separates you from consciousness, and they know it. And that's why they keep you in the realm of fear. The men who are selling you the fear are the men who are leading and controlling your church. They're saying evil is coming while they're creating the evil. Why can't you see this? Their symbols, their engraved images are on every corporation. They've consumed every corporation in the world. Their mega Walmarts are now distribution centers of food. The virus that came into your city to where your police unite, the banks that came into your city and said, "I will hold your money," will deceive you. They will collapse. The Walmart will decide whether you get food or water based on your faith towards the demonic society of the world. If you reject the demons, you get no food and water. If you follow the demons, you will get food and water from Satan. Only Satan could do such a harmful thing. when God gave you free will, free water, free energy, free air to breathe? They're poisoning everything. ISIS is a created network of terrorism by these groups so that you live in fear. She is the goddess, the pagan god. They always have pagan gods. She is the goddess of weather. That means weather warfare. She is the goddess of water. That means they're hoarding the water. She is the goddess of harvest, which is food, poisoning your food, genetically modifying your food. They're even genetically modifying humanity. They put the mark of the beast like boob jobs and fake this and fake that in the women. And they control you because this evil entity has possessed your body. Get it out of your body. Let go of the demonic forces of these possessions. You have to walk away. Now, judgment has fallen upon mankind. Now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, but now. Walk away from the banking system. Walk away from your mortgage. Walk away from your demonic job of putting people in debt. That's what Satan does. He hoards the money and places people in debt, and there is no debt. Money doesn't exist. It's like monopoly money. It's fake. You're selling fake money to people and fake debt. There is no debt. God gave us free trade. If you have one coat, then you're part of God. If you have two, you're not. Give it away. You can't own any resources of God that is not equal to the resources that is owned by the rest of the population. Have more than your brother or sister of this planet. It is all equal. And this world is going to the realm of love. You could either come to it or you'll be kicked off of it. You'll have to go back to your dark side of the moon or your rings of Saturn or your celestial body. Maybe they'll place you in a computer software of a matrix because that's what your biological flesh body is in already. You're in an evil matrix. So it's going to be an easy transition when you die into a computer program of nothingness, fiction. You've passed the ability to retain the light within. The light doesn't glow in your brain. And right now you're feeling hate and revenge for my words. The same thing that the people in the crowd of Jesus screamed, hate and revenge. You, how dare you pretend to be a prophet? I am not pretending. The words that come out of my mouth are words of truth. I receive these messages through the vibrational energies of earth, sun, water. My mind cannot be affected. That's why I've been a targeted individual for all these years. That's why I'm being harassed. Because they can't understand why they can't control my mind. They place thoughts through MK Ultra in my mind all my life. Anger. That anger, they put mercury in my mouth and fillings. And they turn up their evil EMF and radio frequencies, and it controls and it puts thoughts in your head. They control the medical industry, the dental industry. They control all of that. They put more mercury in my mouth, but they can still not control my mind. Yes, I faded for a while, but I came back. I'm home again. I'm where I belong. I walked away from you. I walked away from my first wife. I walked away from my second wife. They were all controlled by Jezebel, the demon. The men have to be men, and the women have to be women. Jezebel is a woman who pretends to be a man. She wants to control. She wants to lead. She wants to be in control. She wants to tell a man what to do. She wants to steal the children and steal the fathers from the children. This is the spirit of Jezebel that possesses your mind. I've begged you, ever since I've known you, to walk away. Because if you walk away, my child walks with you. And then 10 generations, you are not only taking yourself down, but you're taking 10 generations of your children's 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 children on and on with you. As it is written in Scripture, the suffering 10 generations by your choices. You're going to take my blood down to 10 generations of suffering when all she's got to do is come to her father. Love her father. I call her. She says she's going to call me back. She never calls me back. I call her and I talk to her about college and say I want to help her. And she won't even call me back. You have her so brainwashed and so brain dead. She's probably having sex. She's 18 now. And all she's worried about is men and being married. You have brainwashed her. She doesn't even love her parents anymore. She loves her group, her friends, and all of her friends are possessed by the demons. You have pawned her off to schools, pawned her off to religion, pawned her off to a television set, and you stole her from her father. The TV is more important, the school is more important, and the religion is more important than her father's wisdom? Are you kidding me? I have a covenant with God to be the teacher of my children. And both of my children have been brainwashed, brain dead by the spirit demon Jezebel. Both of you were possessed. My second wife was possessed, and I refused to have a child with her. I took precautions as she wanted a child. That's all she can think about. She wanted a child. She wanted a child. Yes, she wanted my bloodline to take into darkness, and I didn't give it to her. But Danielle and Ashley, both of my children that were born were not done by my choices. They were done by your choices. And I love them. You have no idea the love. I want them to be one with God. I want to strip them away from Jezebel. I don't want them to live in this world of hate and fear to where they have to look a certain way and live a certain way, eat a certain food. They have to fit into society, for the popular world is the enemy of God. Therefore, if you're popular with the world, you are the enemy of God. You have taken my children to want to be popular. You have taken my children to want money instead of God. You did. You did this evil work. And you made money the only relationship I had with both of my children. If I didn't give money, you convinced them that I was no good. And now that's all they see me as. Just a person who gives money. If I don't give the money, then they don't want to have nothing to do with me. You did that. You brainwashed these children. Both of you. Both of the women that I had. You did this. Of course I gave the money, because I had it. I would have given my life for them. I supported Kimberly. I am the only father that supported not only my child, but your children. And you know what you say out of your mouth? You say I didn't give enough. All the things you stole. You stole my pictures. You tormented me. You gang stalked. Along with a police officer, you harassed me. My girlfriends, every relationship I had, you would call every day, 5 times a day, stalking me, harassing me. The girls would say, why is she calling all the time? And because I loved you, I allowed you to. I love all people, but I love you in a way because I know that you control the mind of my child. And I answered that phone because of my child. Not because of you, but because of my child. And now you think that you sit on a mountaintop. You sit on a mountain with money. All the gifts that you know that I have, the talents that you know that I have, you allowed these men to strip me. You allowed them to turn fiction into your reality. And the reality is I have more talent than the men that are sitting on your thrones that you call modern day prophets. I have more of a mind than they do. But you follow them. You would never listen to my words. I would even tell you not to do this or make this financial decision, and you would do it anyway. Because you did the will of these evil men with their evil deeds and their evil subscriptions to demonic forces. Why aren't you awake yet? Why? Are you like in the CIA and you can't leave? Once you're in it, you can't leave, you can't walk out? Yes, you can. If they kill your body, who cares? At least you save your children. Save your children. Give your life for them. Are you afraid to be starving in the street? Are you afraid? God will provide for you if you just turn to Him. He will give you all you need. I know you're afraid. I know you're afraid to walk away from a home. I know you're afraid to walk away from a job. But if you do, God will provide for you. You get on your knees and you say, Lord, I am giving it to you. And from then on, He will give you everything you need and He will speak to you. All you've got to do is break away. And fear not the dark side. You cannot live in fear. The only thing that you should fear is God's judgment, and that's it. And He is going to judge you in a very, very bad way. Not only you, but your children's children, 10 generations of your children. It's in Scripture. He wrote it. It's in your mind, and you know that. All you've got to do is open your mind. You cannot follow the dark side. It is unpredictable. It is unmeasurable. No one knows the moves of these evil men except them. Not even the light can read their minds. They're so evil. They're so possessed by dark forces. Walk away. I beg you. I've begged you. I've called you. You pretended to be my friend for all these years when I was in relationships. Now that I'm not in a relationship, you don't want to have nothing to do with me. You were pretending. You were never my friend. And you know, I knew it all along. I always knew that you were manipulating me, but I still loved you. I wanted to save you. Because I see something in you that can be. I see something in everyone that can be. You can be a being of light. You can travel from planet system to planet system at the speed of thought. You don't need a physical spaceship. I really believe that. The power of the light. In the book of Enoch, God looked like the light. He was in the shape of a man, a giant man. And I believe that too. He is the atom within your body. He is the light within your mind. All you got to do is find self, and you will find God. You've got to purify your body from the poisons and the toxins that are being fed to you on a daily basis. Everything you eat, everything you drink, even Utah is wired underground. Tower of Babel is in the center, and underneath your feet is wires that separate you from the Schumann cavity resonance of the earth. You are living in a place, the same place the people of the pyramid lived. They are brain dead, brainwashed because of their separation of the energies of God. Soon as you get away, you will start to feel these vibrations. But what happens to you is when you get away from Utah, you want to go back to the devil. You can't feel the cavity resonance of the earth anymore. I told you to go to the mountains away from cell towers. Take your shoes off and connect to these energies and pray. And you won't do it. You won't listen. I told you that these energies can heal your body, but you won't listen. It can heal your mind. You have to be everywhere that a cell phone is. You have to be everywhere that the dirty energy of Satan is. He's built his defenses, and you are in the city. Matter of fact, the most powerful city that exists probably in the United States is Utah. You are a Catholic, Kimberly. You don't know it. The Vatican controls your faith. He's always controlled your church. The man sitting on the golden throne. And soon you'll see all the religions unite. Because they've always have been united. And all they did was organize and separate people from the truth. Groups. And you're all going to be deceived. A fake Jesus, a fake Tower of Babel. And it's all going to be with wealth. Jesus is never coming with wealth. He didn't come before with wealth. He was homeless. You hate the homeless. You despise the homeless and the poor. You mock them. And don't tell me you don't. You look at me. I used to talk to homeless people, and I talk to rich people, and you know it. I love them both equally. You know that about me. You saw me in my works fighting the system of evil. You saw me come home and complain about the system of evil that wants to control me, wants to elect me into their organizations. And I fought them all my life until all of a sudden they rejected me and blacklisted me. Because I rejected them so many times that they were sick of it. They finally figured out that they can't control me, so they're going to harass me and take away everything that Satan offers. Well, I say take it all. I don't want it. And I'm going to give it all up. And when the time comes of suffering, they can come kill my flesh, but they will not kill my spirit. The energy of the human mind lives forever. And the heart. And with me it's united. I've found my center, my chakra. I've balanced between everything. I can go and travel into the realm of hate and fear, but I go right back to the heart and say that I'm sorry. I have never, Kimberly, heard you say that you're sorry. Ever. Have you noticed that about yourself? You might tell your own people within the group that you're sorry, but you never tell people outside of the group that you're sorry. You see them as lesser than you. You see them as mere meek peasants. And don't tell me you don't. You see yourself above people. You're not. You're far below most people. You better humble yourself. And everything that I told you to do, do it. I beg of you. And it's because I love you. I love all the people of that Mormon church. I love all the people of the Catholic Church. I love all the people of the mega religions. I love them all. More than you could ever understand. Because I know what love is. And I tried to teach you what love was. But you didn't want to learn. Love is in the heart. The heart sends more energy to the mind than the mind sends to the heart. The heart is your center. But you're deceived by your heart. Your heart tricks you. Your mind tricks you. Both of them are out of balance. Mine has come back into alignment. The alignment of the energies of earth, sun, celestial bodies. I was born on the cusp, and so are you. And Kimberly, they want your soul. You're the opposite of me. I'm Pisces and Aquarius, and you're Leo. And I think what, Libra? Opposites attract. We're supposed to come together to our center together and find God together. But you stay unbalanced. You've got to find your center. I found mine. And I know you married within the Mormon temple and you did the ritual. So that makes you even more unbalanced. You've sold your soul in a marriage ceremony of demons. Now they possess you even more. And I know you're unhappy deep inside. No one that could live in that darkness could be happy. It's a fictional happiness. It's not real. You keep telling yourself you're happy. I know you're not. No one is happy living on the dark side. And you are on the dark side. When you break away, you'll start to feel the love of the trees and the earth. You'll start to connect. You'll start to see chemtrails. You'll start to see all these things, this attack on humanity that your group is doing. You're murdering people. You've always murdered people. Your money that you follow is murdering people. I reject that. I have to. I reject all of it. I will never follow money. If money kills people, then I will never follow money. Those of you out there that are listening to this, please take it into your heart. Give your testimony. Your life journey is very important to others. Share it. Open your heart like I have. Open your soul. Share your weaknesses as well as your strengths. And don't be afraid. Humble yourself. And talk about the tragedies that have happened in your life without anger, without hate, without fear. Just talk about them. But you can't talk about them until you escape your fears. You can't. I've escaped my fears. I don't fear the dark side anymore. Never did, actually. I always fought them. And I'm going to win. Kimberly, God's going to win. The people who are on the side of God will win this battle. You're going to see. You're going to gather to a temple one day, and the temple's going to be destroyed, and you're going to perish. And even then, you'll probably say, well, Freddie was a liar. I've never been a liar to you. I've always shared my heart. Always. I've opened my heart. I've given you my heart. And you stepped on it, you manipulated it, and you stripped it. And I kept giving. And I keep giving. Knowing who you are and who you're possessed by, I keep giving myself, sacrificing myself for you. And that's what life is about. People that are listening to this, I love you. There is a reason why you're hearing this story. All of my videos are directed. They're controlled by a group. Matter of fact, NSA is the largest facility in Utah. They're surveillancing you. They're tracking you. If you watch my video, you're probably on a targeted list. You supported Ron Paul. You didn't like our current administration. You've rejected the system some kind of way. And they've got you in a group. I'm going to tell you, people, if you're listening to this video, you are part of something. Now, I'm not talking to the NSA that's listening to this video. I'm talking to the people. You have been chosen by God to lead fearlessly. Do not fear anything. Keep moving forward. No matter how many times you're rejected, keep speaking the word of God. And you'll keep learning. You'll grow stronger and stronger mentally every day. As you stand with God, He will stand with you. And He is way more powerful than the enemy. You're on the right side. And no matter how many times they reject you, spit on you, throw stones, it doesn't matter. It is nothing but the popular world and their mind control of wanting to be popular. They're the same people who threw stones and screamed, "Crucify him," to Jesus Christ. Falsely convicted him of a false crime. And they murdered all the disciples. That's why they celebrate the number 13. And they forgot about Mary Magdalene. She was also a disciple. They erased the woman's spirit. So you women out there, don't let them erase your spirit. You've got the bloodline of David within you. Black, white, brown, it doesn't matter the color, the race, the religion, the creed, the country. God scattered these souls all around the world. Never stop fighting, for you will have eternal life within the light. And even if they kill the body, don't lose faith, because you will get a new body, a body of light, tens of thousands of times more powerful than the flesh. And God may choose you to come back and battle the demons, and you will easily defeat them. God's angels of death are so powerful, you have no idea. Nuclear bombs don't even affect these men or beings of light. Nothing. They're so powerful. This is what God tells me in my visions, in my dreams, my prayers. And I believe it. Now, I'm on a life journey towards truth. I retain more wisdom as I keep my body pure. Now, they're trying to poison me. They drop things in my backyard. They fly airplanes over my house constantly. Constant harassment. The harassment has went far above and beyond Kimberly Gottfredson. It's way above her level. Because I am rising. I'm becoming more powerful. And so are you. So are you. They go through great lengths to deceive you, to trick you, to place people in your life, to rewrite your book of life, to say that you're a terrorist, and all you are is a person who loves Mother Earth and God. You're trying to protect her. You're trying to protect God. You're trying to keep the faith within your children. And you're trying to stop the schools from engulfing and devouring them. You're trying to be a woman. And you men out there, you're trying to be men. Real men. Not these wimps that follow darkness. These feminine men. Women like Kimberly want feminine men. They want gentle. They want men that go, "Oh, everything's going to be okay." Feminine. Not men that go, "What? You're not going to do that to my child." They don't want men who fight back. They're brainwashed, brain dead. They want men to be women and women to be men. They've switched yin and the yang, and they're okay with that. That's what they're attracted to. Their brainwashing, mind-altering beast has said, "Do not like a real man, a brave-hearted man who fights tyranny." They don't like men who fight tyranny. They want women. Their man is a woman. He is a yin, not a yang. And that's what they're attracted to. And that's what they get. Unbalanced all of Mother Earth. All the laws of God they've rewritten. And that's what they're attracted to. The laws of the sea. Satan's laws. Not only the Jezebels, but the men. or the men possessed by demons. Don't stop fighting, because you don't know how powerful you're going to become. Every day you're going to become more and more powerful. Stand with the truth. Never betray the truth. If they walk up to you and offer you money, do not take it. If they offer you water and food, do not take their water and food. If they want to give you the mark of the beast, it's better to die. Do not take the mark of the beast, for it will ruin your mind, your heart, and your body. And they know it. Don't alter your body in any way. Keep it pure. Keep the mind pure, and then you will die in the flesh pure. And you will travel to the light. You will know the light. I love you all.